What's going on, everyone? Ash here with an update on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Part 1 of a new 2-part column by Smash Bros. Creator Masahiro Sakurai called Smash is Special has appeared in the latest issue of Japanese gaming magazine Famitsu, and unsurprisingly it contains some interesting details about the development of the latest game in the series, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. As always, the folks over at Source Gaming have been quick to translate this column and reveal the juicy details within for English-speaking Smash fans, and we're summarizing those details for you right here. But if you'd like to check out the translated column in full on Source Gaming's website, you can find links to the article as well as their Twitter account in the video description below. Sakurai begins by revealing that the first proposal for Smash Ultimate was finished in December 2015, which he notes was still during the development phase for Smash Wii U and 3DS's downloadable content. Sakurai didn't assemble his team and begin actual development until an undisclosed amount of time later, though. Anyone who saw Nintendo's recent E3 Direct knows full well that the concept for Smash Ultimate is everyone is here, meaning that every single fighter who has appeared in the series at any point in its history is returning for Ultimate. As exciting as that is, Sakurai talks about how being able to do this is a real luxury, and that he had to seize the moment and twist some arms to make it happen. Interestingly, he also mentions that he's thankful Nintendo agreed to help gather all these fighters together, and I quote, despite the risks involved. What risks he might be referring to is anyone's guess, but we'll have to wait a little while to find out, as Sakurai says he'll be delving deeper into that topic in the upcoming second part of the column. Sakurai says that with Ultimate, the first major decision he was faced with was between creating a completely new game system and mechanics, or building off of an existing Smash game. He ended up choosing the latter because if he hadn't, he says the final roster may have ended up being just a third of the size it is now, which clearly would have necessitated a ton of cuts. He then goes into detail on some of the finer changes to gameplay mechanics that had taken place in the transition from Smash Wii U and 3DS to Smash Ultimate, starting with the overall game speed, which he notes has been increased, but only by an amount that he feels wouldn't be alienating to Smash newcomers. It seems the reason Sakurai felt he was able to do this for Ultimate is because they're not seeing a huge influx of first-time gamers like they did with the Wii, and the on-screen movement is a lot easier to follow on the Switch than it is on the 3DS. Referring, of course, to Smash Bros. Brawl's notoriously slower, more beginner-friendly overall game speed compared to its predecessor Smash Bros. Melee, and the middle ground approach taken by Smash 4, seemingly due to the 3DS version. Going off of this point, Sakurai talks about how the knockback speed has also been increased in Smash Ultimate, and how the point of this is to reduce the amount of time fighters are incapacitated overall so as to improve the flow of gameplay. He wanted to do this in Smash 4, he notes, but had to give up on the idea because it was too easy to lose track of your position, especially on the 3DS. Sakurai then confirms he has increased initial jump speed and reduced aerial landing lag across the board, as well as made a bunch of other changes that will speed up the gameplay overall without making the game itself too hardcore, perhaps referring to Melee and the way it quickly becomes unapproachable for newcomers at high levels of play. Continuing on, Sakurai talks about how he has increased the damage dealt in one-on-one matches relative to free-for-alls, which he says should help improve the pace of two-player battles. He doesn't say whether or not this was done specifically in service of the esports community, but it's something tournament organizers are sure to appreciate nonetheless. Interestingly, Sakurai then goes on to confirm that when you first start playing Smash Ultimate, the number of fighters at your disposal will initially be limited to the original Smash 64 roster. He doesn't say whether this includes Smash 64's unlocks or not, but the overall point, he says, is to keep the process of unlocking new challengers fun and exciting. However, he admits that this could also be viewed as a hassle by players who just want to dive right into the deep end and have immediate access to every character in the roster, and he notes that there are fighting games that allow this. He then compares the process of unlocking fighters to racing games that have players purchase new cars from the winnings they have earned in races, and says this process allows players to become strongly attached to the cars they unlock. Keeping all this in mind, he says that while collecting every car in racing games might just be a dream for most people, Smash players can rest assured that he won't be doing anything that difficult, and that he has come up with several methods for unlocking fighters that should make the process of unlocking the entire roster comparatively simple. Sakurai then closes the column with a few other tidbits, starting with the fact that in Smash Ultimate, you now select the stage first before picking your fighters. This was done to allow players to consider each character's compatibility with the chosen stage before heading into battle. He also notes that due to this change, fairer competition can be had if you set the rules to allow the loser to pick the next stage. He also touches on how every stage features both an Omega and Battlefield version now, giving players more flexibility than ever before when considering their favorite environments and music. And though this is obvious, Sakurai even says as much, he ends the column by stating that Smash Ultimate has a greater amount of stages, music, and items than ever before, and that every stage and item returning from previous Smash games has been remade from scratch and vastly improved. That's a lot of information packed into one column, and we didn't have room to touch on it all here. If you want the full story, make sure to check out the translated column in full on Source Gaming's website, which you can find a link to in the video description below. What do you think about Sakurai's comments in this column? Do they make you even more excited for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, or less? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and as always, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to GameXplain for more on Smash Ultimate, the Nintendo Switch, and all things gaming. Until next time everyone,